This is the Netflix one-year overview reading for the year of 2024. It's currently November 26, 2023, 5:32 p.m. Eastern Time. Netflix at the time of this reading is currently $479.56. That's USD. And the shuffle video we're going to play for you here in just a moment was created on June 27, 2023 at 6:51 p.m. Eastern Time. That's this video here in the corner. So the overall theme and behavior for Netflix in 2024 is a notable decline sitting out on a one-year chart scale to revisit a support level that we recently met once before. It's crossed with the fortune card. The fortune card in this case, I think, is indicating not only a prominent reversal on a multi-year scale, but also a new high on a multi-year scale, which there's hints of that in the multi-year reading that I did a while back. I'll talk about that all in more detail in the paid version, but the behavior around the highest high, we have a resistance level that we failed to break through many times before that's highlighted around the highest high, and the behavior around the lowest low for the year, we have a notable move higher out of oversold territory, or possibly like a gap up out of the low. It's hard to say. It's a big move that'll stand out on a one-year chart scale, usually from oversold territory or to fill a previous gap down or a gap up of some kind, you know. Before we go any further, I want to make sure that everybody's aware of the whole purpose of this channel is to transmute some of the competitive energy of the stock market into goodwill. Now, the way that we do that is by following the rule of karma for the channel. It's the unwritten rule between the universe and people utilizing this information for personal gain. The universe has no problem with people utilizing this information for personal gain as long as they are also at the same time helping other people. Right, and so the way that you do that is by following the rule of karma for the channel. It's a threefold rule. You go to the resources tab of our website, Tarot for Traders. 5% of the profits from every profitable trade should be donated forward to one of these charities. Just click here and donate. It's so easy. And then 5% of the profit should be donated back to the channel through one of these links here. If you're international, you could use Wise or you could use YouTube Tips. But that leaves you at 90%. Make sure to spend that 90% out of love. As long as you follow those rules, my friends, the universe considers you an angel investor. The channel is going to send it back to you tenfold through this channel. The neglect to follow through, and the universe will neglect to follow through as well, my friends. Blessings to all my angel investors. Let's get back into it. All right, so for anybody that's new, it's important to understand that we have these timeline cards going left to right across the street, across the board, and they each represent about 2 weeks of time. But not each card's energy will line up perfectly with 2 weeks of time, so you have to keep that in mind and give it plus or minus about 2 weeks. But pay attention to the sequence of chart events. The sequence of events will remain accurate. So in January, we have a peak early in the month that we sell off from pretty notably. Out of the decline at the January low, there's a big move higher, fast move higher marking the end of that decline, and then we have sideways bumping along resistance, sideways in late January, sideways rotation near the January high. In early February, there's a prominent move higher, followed by a full retracement of that move. We'll break out through resistance, stay above it briefly, and then break back down through the same price level shortly thereafter. The February low forms when we have a decline through multiple support levels to reach it. The February high is also a period of sideways rotation, and then there's Princess Abyss indicating a trade opportunity, and I'll talk about that in more detail in the paid version. There's a trade opportunity early in February, mid-February, and late February, as well as early March. Sideways rotation in early March, big move to the downside mid-March into another prominent low early to mid-March at an important price level, or there's an important resistance level on like a one-year chart scale. There's an important resistance near the March low, and then the March high forms when out of the overwhelming headwinds. There's still a notable move to the upside. It looks like the March high probably takes place towards the very end of the month of March, or even on the cusp of March, April. It's a prominent peak or crest for the month, and the rally ends in April. Sharp drop to a prominent trough early in the month of April. A lot of volatility as we move towards later part of April, and there's a rally off of the April low that offers an opportunity. I'll talk about it in more detail in the paid version, but it looks like we probably have 2 April lows. Late April is going to be a period of volatility and sharp drop that stands out in that period of volatility. And then there's an important price level that's highlighted throughout May. It's important on like a multi-year scale there. I'll talk about that in more detail, what I think that price level is in more detail in the paid version. Before we go any further, let's take a look at the 2023 reading and see how we're doing thus far. The 2023 reading also was created on October 10th, 2022, over a year ago. I've gotten substantially better since that time, but it looks like we nailed the lowest low there. Well, we were just a little outside. We have it for late February, ends up being in early March, like right on the cusp, so we pretty much nailed that. And we had a prominent trough and a prominent peak in January, a prominent trough and a prominent peak in March, right? Rally in early April, offering opportunity to open up a short position before a decline here. A decline in early May, offering opportunity to open up a long position before a highest high thus far for the year, and you can see how that took place. This is really solid, guys. Really solid highest high in July. And then at the time I did this reading, there were some clairvoyant anchors that I hadn't quite figured out yet, like this right here would have, reading it now, it very clearly indicates a highest high for like November, I should say. But with that said, the reading's super accurate. This is, I mean, geez, you would have made money following a lot of these trades, opening up a long here and closing that long in April, or closing that long at highest highs there. I mean, yeah, this would have made a lot of money, guys. And you would have, if you ordered this, you know, when it first came out, you would have had it as early as 6 months before 2023. You know where to go as far as ordering more of those. Okay, as a matter of fact, if you're interested in the paid version, what you get in the paid version is everything that you see here in the public version that we talk about, plus the timing of the highest highs and the lowest lows, price level information, the best trades that we see as far as timing, and also what to look for as far as entry and exit points. You get any trades that we see relevant on a multi-year scale. We talk about the cross-reading congruencies, and then we compare the performance of Netflix to the S&P 500 over the same 2024 year period. All that in the paid version, and it's a really great way to support the channel. So thank you very much to all those of you that go ahead and do this. You go to our services under tarotfortraders.com, hover over our services, click on SO Meta Posts, scroll down to 1 year report, click here to order, and you're going to specify the year of the reading that you're interested in, and then you put in the crypto symbol or ticker here. Add to carts, great way to support the channel. We definitely remember the names of everybody that goes ahead and does this sort of thing. Anyways, let's get back into it. Yeah, the resistance level at the end of March offers a significant opportunity, and it has to do with earlier March and then mid to late April as well. But there's this important price level in May that's highlighted throughout May, and it's important on a multi-year scale. We have 3 pokes through that same price level, followed by a sharp decline into a prominent trough again there, early to mid month of May. The May high forms when we have a brief peak that's easily missed, followed by a decline through multiple support levels, and the later part of May is a failed attempt to break through key resistance, followed by a decline through key support on a multi-day scale. Prominent trough on the cusp of May, June. Big move out of that trough in early June, fake out near the June high, and a lot of erratic behavior back and forth to the same price level in later part of June. We revisit a crest in later part of June that was recently a past opportunity, and then there's looks to be like a June low towards the end part of June as well. In the midst of that erratic behavior, we have an unexpected move higher off of the June low, and then rally in early July, increases with momentum moving forward in time. The low of July, which is likely early in July, there's a big move off of the low, pushing the upper end of the range higher. To reach the July high, we have a period of sideways rotation, establishing support, and then a prominent move higher, standing out on a 1-year chart to reach the July high, and then notable decline back to a trough towards the end of the month of July, really towards the very end of the month of July, really significant drop, and we should see some sideways rotation there, with a fast sudden move higher marking the end of that sideways rotation somewhere between July and August. That fast sudden move higher or rally is halted by a decline through key support on a 1-year chart scale in early August, taking us to prominent trough for the year again here in August. Notable opportunity that I'll talk about in more detail in the paid version here at the August high, and we have in late August a rally into key resistance on a multi-day scale, followed by a decline with consecutively lower spikes up, taking us into another prominent trough, like a revisiting of the trough that we saw earlier. We see it here again in September, and it forms when we have this peak that we sell off from pretty notably into a period of sideways rotation and a sharp drop in that period of sideways rotation, followed by towards the end of September a big move higher, a breakout on a 1-year chart scale. The September high is 3 crisscrosses back and forth through the same price level, first up then down then back up through that price level, confirming a bullish trend in many cases. And then we have a prominent peak or crest here for the year in early October. There's an important range that's highlighted on a 1-year chart scale, and we have a failed attempt to break through key resistance that it looks like technicals would lead us to believe we're going to break through. Instead, we turn around and we decline through key support. That's in early October, taking us into, hard to say where the October low is, but the October low we have a period of a rally along a diagonal trend line that ends with a fast sudden move higher, and then a breakdown through that diagonal trend line with increasing volatility on the way down. And there looks to be a peak towards the cusp of October, November as well. I have this indicated as a lowest low, but I'm not sure how I feel about it. This might actually be combined with the September low. It might be like the same indicator. Hard to say, but there's a peak towards the cusp of October, November, and a higher peak in November when we have a big move higher. It's actually mixed in November. We have a notable decline on a multi-day scale and a big move higher. I think the big move higher probably wins out. We reach for a distant resistance there to the November high, and then the November low forms probably twice. We have it on either side of the November high, so a prominent low, then a prominent high, then a prominent low again. It looks like later part of November we sell off from a near overbought peak through multiple support levels. A peak towards the beginning part of December. I'm advised to be cautious there. There may even be a higher peak in the second week of December, but from that peak we decline with down to and through support to be the second support, and we rotate sideways along that support out of the high. The December low forms when we decline off of a crest down to and through support to break through a second support, but then we do a U-shaped reversal below that price level, come back and reuse it as support, and we're rallying along a diagonal trend line as we exit, in later December into the end of the year, breaking through horizontal resistance to be the second resistance before pulling back to somewhere between those 2 price levels. And there's a really notable trade in 2025 on a multi-year scale, it looks like, based on that. Hard to say what that is, but the Magus card means there's a lot of money to be made in Netflix in 2024 based on that trade. All right, guys, that's Netflix for 2024. Please subscribe if you haven't done so. It really helps out the channel. Most importantly, make sure to follow that rule of karma. You know where to go. You know what to do. Blessings to all my angel investors. I'll see you guys on the next one. Stay tuned. If you got the paid version, we're going to get into all that in just a moment.